Welcome to the bold. I am shattered, disappointed, and really ashamed of being a Kenyan. There is a can of worms that has been unleashed, and I think it is time we call out President William Ruto that you left this country in the hands of worms, and they're eating us as a nation. There is no better word to explain what's happening at the Northlands City. The land that was attacked rather early in the morning. This is a place that I've realized that it is the land that hosts the Brookside company, the milk company. It is also the land that hosts some secondary school there, some Peponi school, and there are other amenities in it, including also, I think, the ranch. So as we talk now, the photo in your screen is a photo showing that place is on fire, is set on fire. I want to ask again, are we setting the country on fire? Is this the good precedence? What are we showing? Have we lost our tolerance? On what exactly is the end game? No way. That is not the way to go. On this one, you can have a personal relationship, or you can have a personal difference with Kenyatta family, rather with Uhuru Kenyatta. And because we're human beings, we don't get along all through. But the height of getting to that, I think that is crossing the red line. I don't just know what can happen if Uhuru decides to say enough is enough. Ladies and gentlemen, today the farm was invaded by unknown people. They went there, they cut trees by power saw, and after cutting trees, some of them took an opportunity to steal the goats and the sheep, and then they were selling those goats and sheep to the road users there at a runaway price, at a throwaway price. I was told a sheep would go as little as below 1,000 Kenyan shillings. And the NTV journalists who are covering that, and I even wonder, sometimes I know it's good for the story to get the story, but that was a robbery. That is not something. In fact, I was just gathering that people were told to go and subdivide the land. So they went there. It happened during the day. The journalists who tried to cover it were pelted with stones. I think that was the NTV vehicle, pelted with stones, and they repulsed from the venue in full glare of cameras. Some people took it. I think that is road bypassers took the clips, and the clips are all over in the social media. But where were the police? Aren't they supposed to protect the properties? Now, let me not even go into that. We are talking about trees. We are talking about planting trees. But do you want to convince the country that it is a coincidence that that land is going up in flames a day after it was attacked, and a coincidence the day when there is the mass action in Nairobi? What exactly are we doing as a country? Why are we losing it? We can't let it go down. We can't start flaming up the nation. And even if the land belongs to Uhuru Kenyatta, and you cannot underestimate that, Uhuru Kenyatta was the 4th president of the Republic of Kenya. For those who are doing these things, don't you think that it also comes a time that you will not be in power? And you will also have a property to be protected. But then, maybe you have a problem with Uhuru, and if you're doing it to punish Uhuru Kenyatta, do you think it gets more into him? Uhuru is a person. Uhuru may have enough. I want to believe these spaces or these properties we are destroying are also employing people, Kenyans like us. To the Mount Kenya people, it could be right, and you could have been told that Uhuru Kenyatta was a president for 10 years and never did something for you. You're told before the elections. You've also been told that Uhuru Kenyatta is funding Azimio mass action. Probably, let's just take it so. Now, if the land is put up in flame, or when you go and cut down the trees, I think that was the first indication. And I even wonder that after that, it ought to have been protected. Maybe, I think, it ought to have been protected. Immediately after that came out that maybe the land was attacked, if there was a good motive, that would have been protected. So, if we are destroying Kenyatta's property because he is funding Azimio protests, and Azimio protests are also distracting other people's businesses. So, is there a way a person whose shop was destroyed in Nairobi here is benefiting from the land of former President Uhuru Kenyatta going up in flames? Is there a connection? Or let's ask it this way. Now, those who went there and stole the goats, is there a way the proceeds of those goats went to help those who we say their businesses were constructed? Don't I see from where I'm sitting that there is no connection between the two? And maybe the discussion is about the land. Do you think it can just be taken over that way? The land is a very emotive thing in Mount Kenya. And even in this country, land, we've seen people losing lives because of land. I even remember during 2007, one of the things that brought the skirmishes in the rift was also bordering the issues of land. So are we setting the precedents that we really want to see? Is that what really we want to see as a country? I want to finish this by saying, there is a discussion that, and I want to ask a question. Would William Samoei Ruto do that? Actually accept and not fail to protect the property of former president? Would it be? I know that at some point, yes, there was a lot of scare. We will eject you. When deputy president was a deputy president, there's a lot of scare. We will eject you from Karen. We will attack you, hotel that is built on public land. There was a bit of it, but nothing was ever done. Even security was sized down. Did we ever see a single property that is belonging to former President Uhuru Kenyatta, that is belonging to this other team, even William Ruto, that was destroyed simply because he was not in good terms with Uhuru Kenyatta, despite the fact that by then, Uhuru Kenyatta was very powerful. He was actually the president. William Ruto, can you accept, in real sense, the property of Uhuru Kenyatta to be destroyed that way? That's a question that Kenyans are asking. Number two, to the Mount Kenya. Can you allow yourselves to dance in the grave? Dance in destruction of property. In fact, you've produced a former president. So what has so far happened, been brainwashed, that we are dancing at that? I remember when Matiang'i was arrested, the Kisii leaders converged in DCI headquarters. And there was even protest in Kisii against the arrest of Matiang'i. Can we destroy the property of Uhuru Kenyatta in the altar of politics? Should we normalize that? And for those who support, I know we have many UDA supporters even from the mountain. Is this supposed to be normal? I call it destruction of property because what will it yield? If it is about taking over that land, you cannot take over that land physically, because land is not something that you can put in your pocket and run away with. You cannot steal land. It has to go through a process. In fact, I was so shocked to see some leaders, very ranking members of the government, celebrating the fact that that place was under attack. Yes, we agree. I know that Uhuru committed some ills that against you. Uhuru might have committed some ills against you. Did it get to that extent? It's about time we need to ask. Did it ever get to that extent? And is that a precedence we want to set? My dear Kenya, what does these things portray for us in the next 2027 general election? Forget about the past. You may forget about what we are seeing now, but we are making a 2027 general election a do or die. We are making it a do or die. I don't know what's going to happen, because the way we are setting the country, has President William Ruto become helpless, or has he become so subdued that the sense cannot reign? Or these things are happening because he is not around? I'm not buying the idea of he's not around, because physically he's not around, but the structures are here. A phone call away can avert some of these things that are going on. So, surely, yani tuachoma vitu za rais kwa sababu have we sunk that low? This is not an analysis, I'm just asking. Have we sunk that low? I don't think it's right. And I know some people are saying, hey, Raila alifaa kuwa president. Yenyewe Raila was supposed to be a president. Raila angekuwa president. There is maturity. Because, according to me, this is immaturity. It's political intolerance and immaturity. Yes, I think Kenyans, next time when we talk about election, we should actually gauge on who and who we are bringing to office, because it borders some sort of immaturity. I'm so annoyed. This is not the way to go with it. If you ban that, how about if other places, other people start banning other things? And don't you think Uhuru is so weak that cannot fight back? No. This one, you've crossed the line. William Ruto, take charge. Take charge. Kenyans went to the ballot to vote for the president. And the president is a symbol of national unity. And the presidency, you will also become a former president. Uhuru Kenyatta is the only surviving former president we have in this country. We need to be careful. This one, we are sinking this country. I'm so disappointed. Apana. No.